Ever. It's been 30 years since Liverpool won the title. They could literally smear the Premier League trophy in human feces and drop it into the middle of a trench filled with snakes and tarantulas and Tories, and I would still, I would go and pick it up with my mouth and drag it back.
It's a grand old team.
So in 1986, there was a space shuttle due to be launched by NASA called the Challenger. Now, the Challenger had received a lot of media attention because among the crew there was going to be a civilian, a school teacher, and the Challenger had already been due to be launched a couple of times, and NASA had to pull the launch due to various different issues, and they'd spent a lot of money on this project, a lot of money. And the night before the final launch, there was a conference call between the management at NASA and a senior technician named Alan McDonald. And Alan voiced concerns on this conference call with the management that the launch couldn't take place because he'd found some structural integrity issues with the space shuttle, and the weather wasn't great either. So he said, look, if we launch tomorrow, we put the space shuttle at risk, but more importantly, we put the crew at risk. And NASA said, Alan, mate, sorry, we've spent a lot of money. We've spent too much money on this, Alan. We've got to launch tomorrow. The media's watching. Everybody wants this to happen. It's got to go ahead. And Alan said, well, look, if you launch this in the morning, I can't be a part of it because you're going to put that crew at risk, and I don't want to be a part of it. And they said, well, we're going to launch. And he said, well, I quit. Then the next day, the management at NASA decided to launch the space shuttle, and on its way toward the sky, it blew apart and killed the entire crew. Now, why am I telling you this? I'm not telling you this because I necessarily think, and I'm not being hyperbolic or too hyperbolic, that I think that it aligns perfectly with the situation regarding the Premier League and coronavirus in 2020. But it's a good example of persisting with something because you feel like you need to, and the result of that is catastrophic. You end up causing more issues than you had previously, and if you decided to just leave it, things wouldn't have gone wrong. Now, I don't think that restarting the Premier League and playing out the remaining fixtures is going to lead to the deaths of multiple Premier League players, as some people have speculated. I think what we know about the coronavirus now is it's very serious. It can make you very ill, but if you're a healthy, 20-something Premier League footballer, the chances of you dying are incredibly slim. It's more of an issue if you're over 70 or, you've already got issues with regards to your immune system. That's not me underestimating this disease. It's obviously a very serious disease. There's no vaccine yet. It's hard to treat at the moment. It's an issue, but that's not why I use that story. I use that story because I think the Challenger may represent the Premier League. And I shared before I hit record on this video. I shared the video from Paul Mate from Redmen TV, and I did that not as a personal dig at him. This isn't an Everton versus Liverpool thing. I just wanted to kind of demonstrate where I think some football fans are now. And admittedly, in Paul's defence, in that video that I shared the clip from, he does go on to talk about some of the ethical issues and the moral issues and the concerns around restarting. But ultimately, as a Liverpool fan, he doesn't really care as long as Liverpool lift the trophy. He says so himself, and he's not the only one. A lot of football fans are saying, look, we need to finish the season because they've got a vested interest and they want their team to do well. Now, you could flip that and say to me, you could say, Adam, well, you're an Evertonian. You don't want to see the rest of the Premier League season finished because you don't want Liverpool to win the league. And you'd be half right. I don't want Liverpool to win the league, but I also want to see Everton play again. My issue is, are we devaluing the game, some of the proposals that we've seen, by rushing this through, by trying to play games in a really condensed amount of time? You've got the issues as well with the health and security of players, which are still legitimate. as I said, I don't think that footballers will die from this, but there's all the people that go with football clubs that will have to travel to the stadiums, the kit men, the security guys, the cooks, all these people interacting with the dynamics of a modern football club to consider as well. There's the issues of testing kits and the logistics. I get all of that. There's the moral and the ethical issues too. But all that to one side for a second, there's also the issues of what this does to the game moving forward. We're talking about shorter halves. We're talking about 5 substitutions. We're talking about players not being able to celebrate. And that brings me to another point, and this is directed directly at any of you Liverpool fans who will undoubtedly be attracted to this video. I can already see the comments underneath saying, just another bit of blue, doesn't want to see the league completed because would rather see it voided because that means Liverpool won't win the league. Not completely. Not completely. I put the question back to you. Why on earth would any self-respecting football fan want to see football in this situation? Is it worth it? Is it really worth it? You've waited 30 years for a title. I get that. But is this the way you want to win one? Because I'm not sure I want to witness a Merseyside derby played down in Brighton or up at Newcastle at St James's Park. So I have to ask the same question to the Reds. Is this how you want to win a Premier League title? Now, I don't know what the solution is. It looks like every single solution to this issue of completing the season or when football returns, every single potential solution risks upsetting multiple people and multiple stakeholders. I get it. And there isn't an easy solution. I wish there was one. There isn't one. And I'm not saying I've got the answers, but really and truthfully, can you honestly say as a football fan that you want to see football played in these circumstances, in this way? Football without fans is nothing. As an Evertonian who goes to the match, I don't want to see football played behind closed doors. And if we have to wait, then we have to wait. Football, look, I'm not an expert in the finances. I've never played the game at a high level. There's pundits out there, former pundits who will be able to talk to you at great length in terms of how football will look. There's the likes of Simon Jordan who can go into great detail on the financial elements of all of this. But just from a supporter's perspective, is this really what we want to see? Can we not just wait? Can we not wait until it's completely safe so we can get fans back into the stadiums and restart properly? And in the meantime, can football as a billion-pound industry not come to some arrangement or some agreement that keeps clubs going in the meantime? I don't know. You let me know in the comments section underneath. Once again, thank you for watching Grand Old Team. I'm Adam Partington, and I'll see you next time.